prisoners. Is that right?
Yeah!
We're here now today on Monday, December 9th, 2024. It has officially been 43 years since our brother and Philadelphia's native son, Mumia Abu-Jamal, was first unjustly imprisoned by the state, by this government, by this FOP. And we know that we're talking about an innocent man, is that right?
Yes!
He's an innocent man who needs to come home now.
Now.
Free him now.
Free him now!
Free him now.
Free him now!
Free Mumia.
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia.
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia.
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia.
Free Mumia!
And so we're here even in the rain, in the inclement weather, because we must stand for those who cannot be with us today. We have folks coming in from other cities as they're traveling, and we understand this point, which is very critical. About 6-7 months ago, Mumia Abu-Jamal turned 70 years of age on April 24th. So dealing with a man who not only has been serving 43 years, but also now 43 years of imprisonment, and now a 70-year-old man who was an elder, who was a senior, who's had multiple health issues from COVID to diabetic shock to sugar issues, right? To congestive heart failure, to skin ailments, to vision issues, and a whole host of number of issues as well. And we understand, shame, that's right. And we understand that what he's done specifically is to not only highlight himself and his story, but to highlight the work and the issues of other prisoners in Pennsylvania as well. All power? All power to the people, is that right?
Yeah!
He is so humble that as he gets support and letters from the community, he always says, don't forget those who are also at SCI Green, at SCI Mahanoy, at SCI Frackville, and so on and so forth. And so when it comes to our political prisoners, now is the time for their release. Now is the time for their freedom. Now is the time for them to come home. Now is the time for them to be home with their elders, with their family, with their neighbors and loved ones, to live out their days with dignity and integrity. Free Mumia? Free Mumia! Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
And at the same time that Mumia Abu-Jamal has been mobilizing, has been writing for us over a dozen books, I'm going to repeat one thing that Baba Sekou Odinga once said when he came home back in 2014. I remember going to New York City in 2014. Sekou Odinga, who came home, who was the general in Asad Shakur's liberation, he said, thank the whole crowd for their support during his 33 and a half years of prison. He said, you all never forgot me. But he said, what's more important is that I never forgot you. It's a very, very, very important statement that he just made. And although we say rest in power to Baba Sekou, I want to unpack what Baba Sekou said in the context of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Baba Sekou said, you never forgot me, but most importantly, I never forgot you. And what he was saying was, day to day, what fed him, what spiritually nurtured him, what allowed him to live out those decades of incarceration, was knowing that there were folks on the outside carrying on tradition and the work towards liberation. What fed him on his lowest of days, when perhaps mail didn't come, when perhaps there was an issue inside the prison, was knowing still that there were organizations, individuals, community members, and a village of folks saying, free not only Sekou Odinga, all political prisoners, and gentrification, and the wars are here and abroad, and all the work that all those Panthers championed for so many decades. And so in the context of Mumia Abu-Jamal, we gotta all understand the same equation, which is, we never forget Mumia Abu-Jamal. But dare I say also, Mumia Abu-Jamal doesn't forget us. He knows every year we're going to be here organizing, mobilizing, for not only him, but for others. He knows we'll be strategizing year in and year out. He knows that we built a coalition that is global, that is intercontinental, that is intersectional, and allows for different ideas to come to the fore to champion ideas of liberation, sovereignty, and freedom. And so he hasn't forgot you and your letters, your writings, your meetings, your trainings, all those things in the spirit of true freedom. And so it's important in this moment to understand also what we could do even more deeply in the context of bringing him home. That is to say, we don't want to be here this time next year doing the same thing. Is that right? We believe and we know and understand that with the right work, the right unity, that we can do all that we can and must do all that we can to bring Mumia home. Bring him 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 home. Free Mumia. 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 So what we want to do is, we have a couple of speakers who will speak here, who will share a couple of remarks. People are still arriving, but we want to make sure that everybody's on point and on code. Thank you all for your work. It's been a challenging year for some, 2024. But we know with unity and resiliency, we can come together and build an even stronger coalition of organizers and workers to build a movement that will be bigger than ever before. Is that right? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Can we do it? Yes. Will we do it? Yes. Will we do it? Yes. So I'm going to pick up our first speaker. One of our brothers has been speaking on the front lines on a range of issues here in Philadelphia, representing the Black Alliance for Peace, Brother Stoke, y'all. Peace, peace. What's the call?
Free Mall!
What's the call?
Free Mall!
What's the call?
Free Mall!
Thank you to every one of y'all here today. Like my brother Gabe said, I'm here with the Black Alliance for Peace. My name is Stoke. What I want to talk about today, you know, beyond sort of the things that we see on the ground here, like, you know, these concepts like racism, I think that this moment is really showing us that these sort of discrepancies in our worldview run much deeper. You know, especially as we see the way that this country operates on the international stage, we have to really start asking ourselves, what sorts of values are we aligning with as we find ourselves in the belly of the beast? What sorts of symbols are we subscribing to that are distorting our morals? I mean, just even the symbol of an elder of any age, what they could have possibly done, being in prison, being in a dungeon, is a symbol that is, you know, it exemplifies how deeply our morals have been eroded in our time here. You know, that would be something that, where we still subscribing to our original worldviews, it would be unacceptable. How this country treats children, elders, really the most vulnerable. But when it comes to Mumia, you know, what we're talking about is the truth. And how these differences in worldview, or what Marimba Ani would have called the asili, the cultural asili, or what Sylvia Winter would have called our genres. You know, we all are truly looking at this world much differently than, you know, these folks that we call the West. And we have to ask ourselves, what does it mean to be in the belly of a beast as that beast is being backed against the wall?
on the international stage. How is this beast going to behave? You know, there are a lot of things, a lot of forms of violence that we've been able to take for granted because of our privilege. And now even that privilege is starting to, and I mean that privilege that many of us as Americans, it's not a race privilege, many of us as Americans from an economic standpoint, when we compare our lifestyles compared to the life of someone in Gaza, for example, this is a privilege on the international stage, on a global stage that we share and that we constantly trade for our morals. You know, these sorts of things, like people being just snatched off of the street and in prison, and the sort of architecture of lies that could convince the rest of us that that is acceptable, are the sorts of things that we're fighting right now as these contradictions become more stark, as these truths become clearer, and you can't really hide in your privilege the way that we did before. You can't really act like he's not out there, the boogeyman. He's out there and he's doing everything that he wants to do. He's running free on this planet. And we see it firsthand as people right here in the belly of the beast, and we have to resist it firsthand right here. These sorts of absurdities, these injustices. Again, this architecture of lies, blatant fabrications that could take a cherished elder like Mumia off the streets from us, where he could be a precious resource to our people, to our young people, especially at a time like this, where, you know, you got these disgusting, degenerate market forces leading our people in all types of different directions and away from the traditions. Peace to me.
I think we have our brother Mumia Abu-Jamal on the call, y'all.
Bottom of my heart, I thank you all. I love you all. And I'm saying it so quickly because I only have a few minutes left. I recorded a statement formally with John. I'm sure I should share it with you with the magic of the law.
Maybe do it off with the speakers.
I just want y'all to know I love you. I'm thinking of you.
Love you too.
We love you.
We love you, Mumia.
Love you.
Love you all. Love you all. And, you know, our movement is miraculous and amazing and wonderful. And it never ceases to amaze me and to turn me like a king. You hear me?
That's right.
All of you.
That's right.
All of you are miracles. Never doubt it. And I thank you for the strength you share with me, for the love you share with me. And all the people in the movement.
Right.
I'm always moved. I'm always impressed. You are not forgotten.
And you not forgotten either. We're here for you. Never will we forget.
That was Teresa Schultz.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Moo. We want to make sure that you know that we got forces out here, even in the rain, fight for your freedom. We're excited to bring you home, brother.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
Thank you. Thank you. I love you all. Thanks about the go, yo.
Okay. We love you, brother. We love you.
We're sending you peace and light.
Peace and life.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank you. Yep. Give it up for yourselves, y'all. Give it for yourselves.
Well, that was about the gist of what I wanted to say, y'all. You know, really just want us to look at ourselves and really ask ourselves what new forms of being is the future going to call from us? Or are we going to continue on the same path where, you know, these sorts of just universal moral injustices stand and are defended increasingly by our people? We got black cops out here. We got black symbols of white power. You know, this is a tricky time. And we got to sort through the mess and clear the fog and really look into one another's eyes and see who's on the side of righteousness or who's on the side of pure evil. Again, the beast is against the wall. It's apparent. The rest of the world is not looking at the U.S. and Israel the way that they're looking at them for no reason. They looking at them because they the last bastions of at this point, what is looking like a cosmic evil. I mean, this shit is out of control, truly. And we got to fight for the future, not just of people like Mumia, our political prisoners, but the future of this planet at this point. This is an existential crossroads that we find ourselves at. But peace. My name is Stoke with the Black Alliance for Peace. Thank you all.
Get up again, y'all, Brother Stoke. Black Alliance for Peace, y'all. Black Alliance for Peace. Doing excellent work. Peace to Brother Abu-Jamal, Baraka, Sister Yane Indigo, so many others doing that great work as well. As you heard, Mumia Abu-Jamal checked in with us, is that right? Did he sound good? He sounded strong. And one thing that Mumia always does, right? Whether he is in a moment of weakness or a moment of low, energy, whenever it comes to our work like this here, our actions, our demos, our protests, he's always going to try to show his best face from behind those walls, right? He understands that his motivation, his level of inspiration for us is tantamount to our ongoing work to free him. And so we thank him always for always showing his best self, even when he may not be at his best self. But his words and his thanks, his gratitude fills us with joy. It's always very moving to hear his voice in particular amongst so many other voices that we know are behind the walls to this day, suffering because of the system. This morning, for those who couldn't make it, there was a very important press conference as well that we must raise up that was held actually in this building at 9 a.m. It was a press conference held by Brother Mike Africa Jr., Legacy Director for the MOVE organization, talking about those remains of our 12-year-old MOVE child, Delisha Africa. And he spoke truth to power, stating that on no certain terms, one, the demand is they want to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. That's demand one. Two, they want the arrest of Alan Mann and Janet Monge. Those two individuals from Penn, from Princeton, who have held on and destroyed and studied and researched these remains of black bodies who are blown to bits. And 85, shame. Evil's what it is. Evil's what it is. Blown to bits almost 40 years ago, May 13th, 1985. And so we find ourselves at a very unique point in time where we are about 6 months away from the 40-year anniversary of one of the grossest historical episodes in the history of this so-called country. And that is the MOVE bombing of Cobbs Creek, May 13th, 1985. Next year, 2025, will be 40 years. And there is an intention to raise awareness, but more importantly, build a movement that will not only get justice for the family to those remains, but to also take back the home of 6221 Osage Avenue. Reclaim Osage. Everybody say, reclaim Osage. Reclaim Osage. Reclaim Osage. And turn that home into a living monument and museum that will showcase the important history of MOVE, the good, the bad, the ugly, but more importantly, the history of truth, of what it meant when that bomb dropped, killing 11 men, women, and children, 5 children specifically, destroyed 61 homes, and displaced 250 people. Now is the time to put everything on the line, family, and call it for what it is. This is the truth. This is a reckoning. This is reparations. Now is that time. So with that being said, next up, what's a big part of this work is to focus in on our young people. Because we have some here in the place today, but also more importantly, we want to continue to build a process for our next generation to be engaged and more importantly to be at the forefront of this work. We had a fantastic teaching this past Saturday where we mobilized seasoned folks and folks who are new to learn about political prisoners, learn about Mumia Abu-Jamal, learn about what it means to be engaged in a process that is long-term, that won't be solved in a day's time, a week's time, even a month's time, even years' time, but a longitudinal, long-term struggle and commitment towards liberation and winning the fight. So we want to bring up our brother now to speak on the importance of youth engagement in this moment. Our brother quite cool, y'all. Give it up for him, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia!
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Kwaku Wusu, and I am the co-founder of Collective Climb, a youth restorative justice-focused organization, and in a bunch of different young/college organizing spaces across the city. I'm so honored to be here today after hearing Mumia's words as well. This is just further cementing how important this fight is and how important it is to bring young people inside of this fight as well, too. In my work, we work with a lot of youth who have been arrested for crimes. We do diversion with the district attorney's office, which I think should be a guarantee, and it is a shame that any young person is arrested for any crime. Oftentimes, they are abused, mistreated, and mischarged by police. But when we talk to these youth and hear their stories, they understand all of these sort of interlocking systems, but in their own language, particularly Philadelphian youth. So there's this very interesting thing that happens where we hear the words of Mumia, and I think as an older person, this all sounds very natural. But I think it's also the same for younger people because they hear a lot of the pains, which is devastating that they've continued to this point. They hear about police abuse, they hear about Black people in their communities being mistreated, they hear about the destitute conditions that they must live in, and they're turned on fire. And we must bring the young people into this fight for this reason exactly. I know it's a little tough today because they're at school right now, but I've talked to so many young people and they've just been transformed by hearing the words of Mumia. And I think that's just a sign of how powerful his communication is. It not only speaks of the injustices that he's faced before, but it speaks towards the future. It speaks towards the beautiful, bright, young souls that live here in Philadelphia and across the world. There's so much potential, and having a way to have the young people at the vanguard, because so often their voices aren't heard, they aren't listened to. When they hear somebody like Mumia, it's like looking into a mirror reflection. They see themselves, and that empowers them. So this charge has been led by people for over 40 years, and it will continue by the young people, not just in Philadelphia, but over the world. I'm excited to hear from this contingent from New York, from DC, bringing them in. Those who were at the teach-in were turned on fire. They heard these words. They knew change had to come. So this is all just to say that I'm very proud of the young people in the city of Philadelphia. We have so much hope for the freedom of Mumia. We hope this fight goes quickly and smoothly. But we have the power, we have the force, we have the community, and we have the people. We got us. Thank you very much. Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Free Mumia! Thank you.
I just want to make sure that nobody's lost a AirPod that just came to speak, or it's in the space. Nobody lost the AirPod in their ears? It was just here? It's all good? Just want to make sure. All right? So I'll put it here just in case anybody needs it. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. 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 Palestine And this has been a moment as well as we discuss the work, as we see so beautifully here. Mumia says, "Free Palestine." Is that right? And we will see it in our lifetimes if we so do the work to do so. For the better part of the past several decades, Philly has been on fire, organizing towards the freedom and liberation of the folks in Palestine and the entire Palestinian diaspora. Some folks started October 7th. We can't start there, is that right? We must not start at October 7th. We must go deeper. We must go stronger. We must provide a deeper sense of history when it comes to the Palestine struggle, not only in Philadelphia, but around the world. And what we've seen in the past year and a half has been so powerful. As students have been engaged, young folks have been engaged by the thousands and hundreds of thousands. Governments have been shaken to the boots as people have been deployed in the streets saying "Free Palestine," saying "Ceasefire now," saying "End the genocide," saying "End the arms," saying "End all the military billions of dollars going towards a Zionist project." We want and demand a free Palestine. And we're going to see it, y'all. We're going to see it, y'all. We're going to see it, y'all. We got to believe it, though. And Mumia writes often, has said so in his commentaries at prisonradio.org, that you can go to. And for the past year, Mumia's covered the travesty as hundreds of thousands of Palestinians have been killed, have been murdered, have been destroyed, whole families disrupted. And there's no other soft language to use. In extreme conditions, we got to use extreme language and extreme truths. Families are being destroyed, and we are in the middle of a complete genocide of a people. And so we have a government and so-called actors and politicians who want to continue to talk out of both sides of their mouth on the issue. They'll tell you in public, we want a ceasefire, and then behind the scenes co-sign billions and billions and billions of dollars. Nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. Nothing but lies. I can remember, as I prepare to bring up our next speaker from Workers World, I can remember being in Palestine myself and thinking about it and seeing it with my own eyes, the apartheid, seeing with my own eyes the devastation and despair, seeing with my own eyes the brutality, the viciousness, the difference, the demarcation of resources and support, right? I can see my own eyes as I was even doxxed, as many of us here were as well in the last year. I probably can't go back the way I was doxxed. But that one trip allowed me to see enough. It allowed me to see the truth and see behind the curtain what was going on with a demonic, evil, destructive, so-called country called Israel, and what Netanyahu's doing, what the IOF is doing. And it's important that I also raise up this. One of our strong comrades, I'm not going to go deep into it, but one of our strong comrades here in Philadelphia, who's been mobilizing for a range of issues, but certainly Mumia Abu-Jamal, has been attacked now twice by Zionists trying to destroy her and her literature and her life. Most recently, just this past week. If you want more information, you can see leadership offline. But we want to share that to say this. We are in a certain level of time where we need extra security, we need extra safety. We got to understand what it means. We say, we keep us safe, we keep us safe. 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 And so what does that mean in real time? It's more than rhetoric. It's more than a statement. It's more than a goddamn rallying call. What does we keep us safe mean in real time? And so one of our comrades is attacked. Damn it, we gotta respond properly, efficiently, because that can be any of us. We know these Zionists are cowards because they're gonna prey on those who they believe they can get over on. The older, so-called women and girls because they're sexist and misogynistic. We know these things. And so these monsters are on the offensive, so damn it, we gotta be on the offensive too. Right. And so let's stay strong. Let's support our family in Samadoun who are doing the righteous work. Samadoun being the Palestinian political prisoner network. We support them as they're being attacked viciously by the state and multiple states. And so again, now is the time to organize more deeply and bring in new folks to the stage of work towards freedom and liberation. Next up, y'all, bring up our comrade from Workers' World. About a few months, y'all. Comrade Betsy.
It's really great to follow the other speakers. I don't have to think as much. We've been struggling to free Mumia for 43 years. But in that course of time, the movement that has been out there for Mumia has grown. It has become an international movement. It has become a movement of people who might not otherwise be in the same space together. But Mumia, the struggle to free Mumia has brought us together. Millions of us. The struggle to free Mumia has educated us. It's taught us that it's not just about one individual who was unjustly arrested and imprisoned and put on death row, but millions of people like Mumia in the U.S., which has the largest number of people incarcerated of any developed country in the world, probably of any country in the world. I gotta put this down. And we've learned that it's not just one individual, it's a political prisoner who's part of a system of incarceration that the ruling class depends on. They will not be able to operate without a system of incarceration that can be used to intimidate people, to basically tell people, if you speak up, if you speak out, here's an example of what will happen to you. Thank you. But we've also learned that that doesn't stop us. We've learned that you fight back, even when you are in death row. Even, Maria has written how many books? 12 books? 13 books? While he's been incarcerated. How many of us have written one book? I mean, seriously, comrades. But this is the struggle that we need to rely on. It's a struggle of all ages. And I look around me at this multi-generational, multi-ethnic, multi-racial struggle. We are an international struggle. My comrade from Black Alliance for Peace talked about what we're facing in the next years. And we are facing a monster, really. But we're facing a monster who represents and wants to uphold a system that we're all too familiar with. A system that's not new. Trump didn't invent capitalism. Maybe capitalism invented Trump. But we are fighting a system that's dying, it's decaying. It has no other alternative but wars. It will spend more money, billions and billions of dollars on bombs to destroy things. Where's the schools? Where's the healthcare centers? Where is the housing that we need here in the U.S.? They're not spending money on that. So we have demands we have to make, but we have struggles that we can rely on and learn from that, that have not given up. I was at a rally here on Thursday marking the 40th anniversary observation of a chemical leak at the Bhopal Union Carbide plant in Bhopal, India. And that leak on December 4th, 1984, killed over 30,000 people in the first couple of days with a toxic gas. In those years since, it has killed and maimed 500,000 people as a result. There were 8 CEOs of Union Carbide. Not one of them has done 1 day in prison, not one of them. That plant was sold to Dow Chemical down in Delaware. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. They are responsible for cleaning that plant up. Not one of them has done anything to clean that plant up. But the survivors of that explosion, the survivors, the sons and the daughters and the grandchildren of those victims of Bhopal in 1984, they have not stopped fighting. And that's a lesson for us, that when you fight, you win. Let's hear that again. When you fight, you win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. That's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Bravo.
What's the call? Freedom! 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 Just this past December the 4th, we saw our family in Chicago. Shout out to our brother, Fred Hampton Jr., Mother Comrade, Akua. They just honored and commemorated 55 years since the murder of Chairman Fred Hampton and Mark Clark. 55 years in Chicago, when the Chicago Police Department, government agencies conspired to kill, murder one of the greatest leaders in the history of this movement struggle. Dare I say, one of the greatest students in the Black Panther Party, one of the greatest leaders, young people, at 21 years of age, in the person of Chairman Fred Hampton. 55 years of holding the line. 55 years of staying strong. 55 years of uplifting and upholding the work of the Black Panther Party out of that beautiful and powerful and strong Illinois chapter, y'all. And so the work of Fred Hampton Sr. continues. 55 years later, Fred Jr., similarly to Mike Jr. here in Philadelphia, they are working to take back the house, the Fred Hampton house, and the lot next door, and turn it into a museum and living monument to the history of the Black Panther Party of Chicago, that great Illinois chapter, but tell generations to come about what happened on December 4th, 1969, when the cops came in with guns blazing and Mama Akua turned over on the bed as the shots came through the door. But perhaps she turned over a bit too late as her brother was killed. And we can never forget that Mark Clark was also taken. Yes. And so when you pour libation, when you do your prayers and vibes and thoughts, always remember to include Mark Clark in those writings, in those prayers. those commemorations include Comrade Mark Clark. And we say, long live Tammy Fred. 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 And long live all the Panthers who we lost in almost 60 years of COINTELPRO, almost 60 years of corruption, almost 60 years of destroying one of the greatest organizations in our history. That being said, family, whose streets? Our streets. 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 We're gonna take the streets, y'all. Y'all all right? Hold up, that was loud enough. Y'all all right? Yes. We're gonna take the streets. We're not gonna go too far or too long. But we're gonna take the streets, y'all. We may have a vehicle for those who might need a vehicle right in front of us if you need a ride. But we're going just a short way to mobilize further on our work, y'all. We will have our comrades to help lead. But always know, and this is important, I don't care if it's 5,000 of us, I don't care if it's 500 of us, I don't care if it's 50 of us.
I don't care if it's 5 of us.
Damn it, I don't care if it's 5 of us. Matter of fact,
We've done it with less.
I don't care if it's just me and my damn self.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the streets because it's the principle of it. And on December 9th, we gotta let Philly know that we have not forgotten our brother and that the work continues. Is that right?
Yes.
That's right. So we're gonna take the streets, y'all. Hit the streets with a march and keep going. All right? Free them all? What's the call? What's the call? Free them all. What's the call? Free them all. All right, all right. Let's get our banners. We're gonna do Free Mumia. We're gonna do Stand and Duel. Everybody should have a sign, hopefully. Good. Anybody need a sign? I know. I texted them, said they were going to be at the vehicle. So we're good. Yep. Thank you.
They know. Our organizer knows. So they're going to...
Banners, y'all. Let's get.
Yeah, I was gonna pass them out.
Wonderful.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
Whose streets?
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 Our streets.
What's the call?
Freedom all.
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 Free Mumia now!
Free Mumia now. Free Mumia now.
Free Mumia now! 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 Brick by brick!
Wall by wall,
We're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what?
brick by brick.
Wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what? Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what? Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what? Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what? Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Wall by wall, free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Say what? Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal! What's the call? Free them all! 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 Like we always say, we say we free them all. Is that right? Yeah. Like we always say, we're not here to free some. We're not here to free one. We're here to free them all.
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
And so we understand that we're here in front of the office of the district attorney, Larry Krasnick. We understand further that back in 2017, 2018, that there were boxes found in the office that spoke to evidence that would have, that could have, and should have freed our brother Mumia Abu-Jamal. Right? It was released. And so it caused a global fervor around the world about the possibility of freedom. And then we were sideswiped with a judge named Lucretia Clemens. Is that right?
Yes.
They tried to sick a black judge on us. They tried to sick a black woman on us, but somebody who ultimately was still in the pockets of the state. Somebody who was still in the pockets of the enemy. Not unlike our own so-called mayor of Philadelphia, Sherelle Parker. And so we found ourselves in a crazy situation where leadership is utilizing our own to destroy movements and destroy our ability to get the victories that we all need and demand. That old paradigm, that old African proverb I'm reminded of about the axe in the forest. And the trees look at the axe and say, God damn it, what are you doing? And so we're here today, y'all, to demand freedom for Mumia Abu-Jamal here at the DA's office to show Krasner, to show all the ADAs that now is the time to do what's right. 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 And as we shout that, we know that they'll never do what's right until we push them to do so. That is the history of our movement and our work. We must be organized. We must bring in new people. We must strategize better than we've ever had before in order to bring our brother home. Our brother Veronta Bowers is home. After 50 years, y'all.
50 years.
Say free Veronta Bowers.
Free Veronta Bowers.
Free Veronta Bowers.
Free Veronta Bowers.
And he's freed now. And there are so many other political prisoners that have come home due to our work. The Move 9 is home.
That's right.
David Gilbert is home. Herman Bell is home. Jaleel Mutakim is home. Robert King is home. And may they rest in power. Dr. Matul Shakur, rest in power. Rashe. And Maroon, Russell Maroon Schultz, y'all. Rest in power. Say cool old thing. If I'm gonna say cool, y'all.
Rest in power.
Rest in power. Be say cool. Be say cool.
Be say cool.
Marilyn Buck.
Rest in power, sister.
And so many more names. Yogi Panel. We got Leonard Peltier.
Free him, free him.
Imam Jamil Alameen. So there's so many names, y'all. From Fred Burton, so many more. So the work continues, family. I want to highlight that our comrades from New York just arrived. Give it up for them, y'all.
We're here, that's right.
Shout out to our New York family who came through as always. And I want to say one thing too before I bring up my comrade to speak. Because this work has been global, is that right?
Yes.
We've had so many countries tap in, speak, support.
Yes.
From Mexico to Germany to England, South Africa to France, making this movement global. It's never been just about Philadelphia or New York or the Bay Area. It's always been a global, international project to free Mumia Abu-Jamal and all political prisoners. Free them all. 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 I can remember being in France 10 years ago and seeing the Mumia Abu-Jamal street with my own eyes, seeing the support for Mumia Abu-Jamal for the mayors in France, those organizers, activists, who said, we will fight for Mumia's freedom for as long as it takes. As long as it takes. And we're here today to say the same thing. We are here in front of this office to free Mumia Abu-Jamal as long as it takes. Is that right?
That's right.
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 And so what we want to do here today, y'all, is we want to open it up to anybody that might have some remarks to share in front of this office. You all know the work, y'all. You all know the history. You all know the politics. Now's the time to speak truth to power. What's been on your voice, on your mind, to organize. If you so have the willingness and the ideas and the courage to share a few words, we want to open it up right now to anybody who wants to share a few words. You can cut the microphone right now.
My name is Amru.
Can I hear this? One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. Huh?
It's off.
It's off, right?
It's flashing on.
Is it the wire? One, two. All right. Good. Yeah. We're doing what we can. We're doing what we can. Yeah.
So, my name's Amru. I'm from San Dune, and I just wanted to highlight.
Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!
I just wanted to highlight a very important case in a campaign that we do.
How about this? Family, much love, right? Because everybody's voice is different. He can speak louder, but we can also come closer.
Right.
Right?
Thank you.
Right?
I'll be real.
Right? Okay? Let's do that so we can all hear.
I took you seriously.
So, I just wanted to talk about George Abdallah. He is a leader. He's a leader in the Palestinian resistance movement, and he was the founder of the Lebanese Armed Revolutionary Forces in Lebanon, and he's currently the longest held prisoner in all of Europe. He's been in prison in France for 40 years, and he was set to be released 3 days ago. And when they announced that release, we were like very hopeful because it was going to be a huge victory. And 3 days ago, we found out that he wasn't released.
Oh no!
And it's a case similar to Mumia, actually, where he was framed by the police for a crime he didn't commit. He's in his 70s like Mumia, and he's been in prison for 40 years, similar to Mumia. So yeah, he's a very important leader in our movement, and we've been trying to show up the past few weeks in support for him. I also wanted to highlight, like, this past week especially has been very hard for our movement. I think after a year of like unprecedented victories, this is the first real loss when the imperialists invaded Syria this week, unfortunately. And it's a huge blow to our movement because they were supplying weapons to the resistance in Palestine. But I just want everyone to know to not be in despair and to still have hope. And even if it feels like there's dark days ahead of us, like we're still gonna free Palestine and free all our prisoners, and we're gonna win. Thank you. Free Mumia.
Free Mumia. Free them all. Free them all. Free Mumia. What's the call? Free them all. What's the call? Free them all. What's the call? Free them all. Is there anybody else that wants to share a few words right now? We got an open mic right now. If anybody wants to share a few remarks.
What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
I wanted to talk about a personal friend of mine and a political prisoner in the state of New Jersey. Her name is Gia Valentina. She is a trans woman who's been incarcerated for 30 years. 25 of those years have been in solitary confinement. And it speaks to the necessity of tying the queer and trans struggle into the political prisoner struggle. Because our queer and trans political prisoners languish in solitary confinement under what they call protective custody. Our queer and trans prisoners are subjected to routine sexual and physical and emotional violence by guards and by other inmates, reactionary inmates, who the guards use to prey on our trans political prisoners. And so we need, when we talk about the solidarity of political prisoners, yes, we say free Mumia, we say free Jojo Bowen, we say free Leonard Peltier, but we also say free Gia Valentina, and we honor Yella Clark, a black trans woman who was murdered in, God, what's that awful, in Angola prison. Angola, the same prison where Kevin Rashid Johnson was tortured for years. Angola, the same prison that was built on, that was named for a slave plantation that was crudely named as some kind of insult to the Africans that they kidnapped, that the settlers kidnapped to do slave labor in this country. So we say that trans liberation means freedom for all political prisoners. It means letting the dragons fly out.
That's right.
And so, again, I just want to say free Gia, free Jojo, free Mumia, free all political prisoners, free them all. And now we know that we have a new political prisoner because they just arrested that righteous person who killed that CEO in New York, unfortunately. Oh no! He was found in Pennsylvania. But there we go. We say we love all people who take action against the state, who are brave enough to do so. Whether they be in the Black Liberation Army, whether they be in the George Jackson Brigade, whether they be like David Gilbert in the Weather Underground. We love all our soldiers of the people. Free them all. Free them all. Free them all. Free them all. Free them all.
Give it up again for the comrade, y'all. So it's not working. So here's what we got to do, y'all, right? My voice is already lost, as y'all can already tell.
It's not lost. We hear you.
But we're going to stay strong, is that right?
That's right.
There was a time where we never even had speakers.
That's right.
There was a time we never had so-called AV equipment. We would just speak truth to power based on our own courage and our own strength. Is that right?
Yes.
See, when you have conviction, you understand what it means to speak strongly in all truth. So we have our next speaker to share a few words. Thank you so much. And once again, if you can't hear, feel free to take a couple steps forward.
Not only has Mumia been locked up longer than Nelson Mandela and so forth, we also have to remember to say, free the Congo.
That's right.
We have to remember to say, free Somalia. We have to always remember to say, free the Sudan. Right? The first will become last, the last will become first. We as a people must always, no matter what, continue to free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Right? Now, not only should they be free, they should receive reparations, housing, and so forth. Because they have constantly, when they release them near death, they do not provide services for them that they're supposed to have. They owe it to them. They should not be in prison, and we must never forget this. They have killed another person every time we turn around, whether it's $2.90 for not paying a fare. They are murdering people consistently, and we must never allow it to continue. We will resist, we will resist, we will resist. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal!
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal!
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal!
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal!
Resist!
All right.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
So, we're still here. Any other words? Let it be known. Brady and Granny's have a song. Okay, so 1 second though. We have some folks
behind the wall.
Right. We have some folks here. Oh, go. We're here to send a message. We're here to send a message to D.A. Krasner. Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. And they looking out the window. They see us, they hear us.
Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. And that happens to be a petition online. Just that sentence. Drop D.A. Krasner. Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. We know that he's innocent. Everyone standing here knows Mumia is innocent.
They know he's innocent.
You do too. You do too. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal now. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal now. There ain't gonna be no justice. There ain't gonna be no damn peace in here.
No peace.
Release Mumia Abu-Jamal. When? Now. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal now. If there ain't gonna be no justice, there won't be any goddamn peace in here. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal. That's what I have to say. D.A. Krasner, we know, you know, Mumia is innocent. Let him go. 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 D.A. Krasner, drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal now. That's what I have to say. That's it. No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
Until Mumia Abu-Jamal is released. Anyone else before we start moving again?
Well, wait.
What got you?
Okay. October 3rd, 2024, off-duty homicide detective Christopher Sweeney shot Robert Jones 4 times. Right? Robert Jones was a hard-working man, a family man, and he did roadside assistance as a job. He walked over to this cop's car wearing his orange safety vest because the man stopped in the middle of the street and he thought maybe he needed assistance. And the cop shot him through his window 4 times. Philadelphia police have tried to claim that Robert was trying to carjack this cop. Now, who wears a goddamn safety vest to carjack people? Really? Bullshit. Right? That's bullshit. You know how to know when a cop is lying? Your lips move. So we're demanding. Christopher Sweeney is on some sort of desk duty, still getting paid, and still not charged. He needs to be fired. And he needs to be charged.
Charge him now!
Charge him now! Charge him now! Charge him now! Charge him now! That's all I got. Thank you.
Jail killer cops!
Anyone else? I know we have a quick performance.
Jail killer cops!
Oh.
Jail killer cops! Arrest them in the jail!
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open the song. See you later. Okay, so we're the Raging Grannies. We've been singing this song for way too long, and we have to keep singing it on the line that says Pennsylvania. You can pass them around if you want. I don't know. Anyone who wants a song sheet, we don't do solos. Wait, let me get mine back then. I'll show it to you. You need it. Can you see? Yeah, just pass them around. So instead of Pennsylvania, we'll say Larry Krasner, what's with you? Just to update it. Ready?
You can't hold it.
That's so low. Turn that key and let him go. To injustice we say no. Racist systems got to go. Let's free Mumia. Mumia's words are poetry for those yearning to be free. This enrages powers that be. Let's free Mumia. Chorus. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Racist systems got to go. Let's free Mumia. He was shot and almost died, accused of murder and vilified. Racist justice, a trial of lies. Let's free Mumia. Black jurors were denied, his court lawyer unqualified. Witnesses coerced and bribed. Let's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Racist systems got to go. Let's free Mumia. Larry Krasner. Larry Krasner, what's with you? Are you blind to what is true? What is it we must do to free Mumia? Prison health care is a crime. Mumia's life now on the line. We are running out of time to free Mumia. Chorus. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Let's free Mumia. Racist systems got to go. Let's free Mumia. Free Mumia. Free Mumia.
Yes, free Mumia. All right, guys, we're going to start going over to our next spot. So make sure we have everything we need to have.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So, what we gonna do, right? Let's get out there. keep us safe? Who 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 keep us safe? We keep us safe. We keep us safe. We keep us safe. Who keep us safe? We keep us safe. Who keep us safe? We keep us safe. Whose streets? Our streets. 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 Here we come. Our streets. All right. Our streets. Whose streets? 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 Our streets. Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? Brick by brick, okay. Wall by wall, we're gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? Right. Who? How? Say what? Okay. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Right. Come on. Wall by wall, we gotta free who? Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? Brick by brick. That's right. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free who? Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? That's right. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? That's right. Who? Abu-Jamal. Say what? Brick by brick. That's right. Wall by wall, we gotta free who? Abu-Jamal. That's right. Brick by brick. That's right. Wall by wall, we gotta free who? Abu-Jamal. Wall by wall. Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. What's the call? Free wall. 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 What's the call? Free wall.
We'll never be defeated.
Victory!
Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Brick by brick. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Say what? Brick by brick. That's right. Wall by wall, we gotta free Mumia Abu-Jamal. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Wall by wall, we go free.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist.
No racist.
Police. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist ass movie.
Justice.
No peace.
Ain't no power.
People don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people. The power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people. The power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people. The power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people.
Say what? Say what? Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people.
Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Say what?
Mumia Abu-Jamal. Wall by wall, we gonna free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Everybody all right?
Yeah.
Whose streets?
Our street.
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 What's the call?
Free 'em all.
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 No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. Fuck these
No
racist ass
police. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace. Fuck these racist ass police.
Say what?
No justice. No peace.
No justice. No justice.
police! Fuck these racist ass police! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! Fuck these racist ass police! I said no justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! I said no justice! No peace! Fuck these racist ass police! One! We are the people too! Three! We want justice for Mumia! One! We are the people too! Say it louder! Three! We want justice for Mumia! One! We are the people too! Say it louder! Three! We want justice for Mumia! One!
We are the people too. Say it louder. Three. We want justice for Mumia. 2, 3. Mumia. 3.
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Oh. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. 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 No justice, no peace. No peace. Police. No peace. No justice. No peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. These racist ass police. Fire them. No justice, no peace. The hell with these racist ass police. No peace. I gotta get it.
Do you want us facing the road?
Let's stand by the police, yes.
Let's stand that way.
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
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 Release Mumia Abu-Jamal. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal. Let all the police receive what they give. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. Free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Release Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Release Mumia Abu-Jamal.
No peace.
So I don't give a damn how much they honk.
That's right.
Our brother's been locked up now for 43 years. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So things got to be put in order. We're putting the city on notice that we're going to free Mumia Abu-Jamal.
That's right. By any means necessary.
So the work has to happen now.
That's right.
This is where 43 years ago, on December 9th, 1981,
We're framing that.
we call it the framing of Mumia Abu-Jamal.
That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. No, but true. Railroading.
This is the truth.
That's the truth.
For 43 years, decades, this government, this FOP, has put out a war against Mumia Abu-Jamal. They put out a narrative. But we know he is a journalist. He's innocent, is that right? Is he innocent? Is he innocent? Is he innocent? Is he innocent? Is he innocent?
The dirty box is full of innocents.
We know that after the case, half of the police officers were arrested on perjury.
That's right. Tell the truth.
I'm not making this up.
Tell the truth.
That's the truth.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The truth hurts, but that's what it is.
We know that all the best legal scholars have said, that's right, not only is Mumia Abu-Jamal legally not guilty, he is factually innocent.
That's right. That's right.
And so now's the time for all of us to say this. These three words. Drop the charges.
That's right.
Drop the charges. 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 Free Mumia.
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 We want to bring up one of our speakers. What's the what? What's that?
Say get out of the fucking streets.
See, once again, there are so many cowards in the city of Philadelphia, in New York,
That's right. That's right.
D.C., Delaware,
Tell them, Gabe.
everywhere.
Tell them, Gabe. Delaware.
What they love to do, we've all seen it. They yell, they scream, and they keep driving on. They yell, they scream, they keep walking on. They yell, they scream, and keep biking on. Because they know, like we know, that the power of the people is more important than the people in power.
That's right.
Speak on it. Power of the people. Speak on it.
And we are not shaken, we are not scared, and we have no fear for a people or a government who will lock up our brother.
That's correct.
Whether it's Mumia Abu-Jamal, Imam Jamil, Leonard Peltier, or any of the comrades behind the walls. Now is the time for freedom, liberation, and justice. Justice now. Justice now. Justice now. Justice now. Justice now. Justice now. Justice now.
Justice now.
Justice now.
Justice now.
Justice now.
Now.
And now's the time to crush the FOP.
Crush the FOP.
Once again, we're not scared.
That's right. Fuck the FOP.
Because we were taught.
White supremacy.
That's right. We were taught primarily by a 5-foot-tall giant, a 5-foot-tall general, a 5-foot-tall warrior woman in the name of Mama Pam.
Go.
Give it up for her, y'all. And we know that she can't be with us this morning, but she sends her fight. She sends her strength. She sends her power. She sends her voice.
The directive.
She sends her energy. She sends her spirit to us all today.
Stand.
We should all feel invigorated. If we've ever seen Mama Pam on the mic, on the front lines, if you've ever heard Mama Pam demonstrate truth to power to the people, you should have no fearful bone in your body.
Power to the people.
That's right. And no power to these pigs.
Power to the pigs.
The time is now.
To release Mumia Abu-Jamal.
And as I bring up our speaker, I want to remind us of what Mumia Abu-Jamal said at our teaching this past Saturday on the phone. The question was asked, what do you think about next year, 2025, and what it means for the work? And Mumia Abu-Jamal said to a packed room, it doesn't matter what year it is.
Right.
He said, it doesn't matter what year it is.
That's right.
The work has to and must continue.
That's right.
Don't focus on the year.
That's right.
Don't focus on who's in power.
That's right.
Just keep doing the work.
Right.
Until we win.
Straight ahead.
Until we win.
Straight ahead.
Until we win.
Until we win.
So I'm going to bring up my comrade from New York, and then we're going to get ready to close out by the placard.
Thank you. So we talked a lot about the political prisoners, but there are new political prisoners that we have to also think about, okay? The young people and the people from the Arab and Muslim and the Jewish community that are standing up about Palestine. That's right. The people that are standing up to cop cities all around the country. What is Cop City? It's just a militarized colonial occupation force, right? Trained by the IDF, but trained by the people who committed genocide on this continent, and Australia, and New Zealand, and on and on and on and on, okay? And the solutions aren't new, they're old, okay? They've always been afraid, whether it was Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, whether it was the Move family here in Philadelphia.
That's right.
Right? Whether it was Marcus Garvey, whether it was Malcolm X, whether it was Medgar Evers.
That's right.
Right? Martin Luther King standing up for sanitation workers. Fred Hampton feeding children.
That's right.
Right? What are they afraid of? Okay? And there's a new movement. It's a global movement. It's called the Solidarity Economy Network. Okay? And there's hundreds of organizations, not just in Palestine, but in Haiti, in Congo, in Yemen, everywhere that's colonized, and Philadelphia, don't forget Philadelphia. Okay? And what they're doing is they're not waiting for the governments. They're not waiting for the elections. They understand it took 70 years from Seneca Falls till women got to vote. It took another 50 years till they could have checking accounts and credit cards without the permission of their husband. Okay? But when it comes to climate collapse, okay? When it comes to the system that's going to replace us with AI robots.
That's right.
Right? We don't have 120 years. We don't have 120 years. So we need solutions now in the community, the old ways. Worker cooperatives combined with indigenous community land trusts. Okay? But that's a solution here. You know, it's the solution in Jackson, Cooperation Jackson. They're fighting for their water, just like they're fighting for it in Flint. Just like the people in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana, Cancer Alley.
Mississippi.
They need health care as a reparation, not as a right, as a reparation. Okay? But the solutions are different. In Kenya, they want small irrigation projects instead of large dams. They want microloans. Okay? So the Solidarity Economy Networks brings all these community solutions, all these sources of dual power. Whether it's the Black Power Blueprint, me and Pam and Betty Davis, we're going down to Tampa for next Monday. Because they're trying to put the Uhuru 3 in prison. Why? Because they were helping the community in Ferguson, St. Louis with basketball courts. food kitchens, community gardens, community organizing space. They were turning gentrification on its head. Gentrification for the people. So they want to put them in prison, and they're talking about Russia and all this other shit. Bullshit. They've always been afraid. They were afraid when the runaway slaves got together with the indigenous people, right? And that's why they shot people down in Mississippi like Kalia Clark that organized the lunch counter protest so her people could vote. That's right. Okay? So check out the community programs. Check out the Solidarity Economy Network, Global Transition Alternatives, People's Network for Land and Liberation, and there are 100 other groups, 100 other ideas. They're all about community power, dual power, power between you and your neighbors, where you're not relying on the city or the state or the federal government or the international cartel. Thank you. They're not going to give us solutions. We're going to give solutions by talking to our neighbors, taking care of each other. Okay, thank you.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Right on. That's right.
Say what?
Ain't no politics.
Say what? Say what?
Ain't no politics. People and power. People don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no politics. People and power. People don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no politics. People and power. People don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no politics. People and power. People don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no politics. People and power. People don't stop.
Say what?
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal! Tell me what democracy looks like. What democracy looks like. Tell me what democracy looks like.
Thank you.
What democracy looks
I just want to identify him writing a
What
story.
democracy looks
Brother
like.
Dave. Okay. Gabe. G-A-B-E? Yep. Okay, thank you.
So here we are. Here we are, a placard, right, for Daniel Faulkner. What about Mumia? What about Mumia's life? From those who may not know, this morning in New York, we had a similar Mumia. Jordan Neely, on the train a year ago, over a year ago, was strangled to death, homeless, unhoused, needing help, not doing anything to anyone, strangled to death by a former Marine. And this morning, they acquitted him, completely acquitted him. They dropped the manslaughter charges last week, and officially today, they dropped anything of negligence. Right? This is a system that we're living in. Innocent man murdered, while a former Marine gets to live his life after getting so much money, and he's okay.
More than 3.2 million.
There it goes. There it goes. Shame. Shame. And these are the people Mumia fights for. This is what Mumia was speaking about when he was on the radio. And because he was speaking truth to power, they cut his time and he had to find other means to make a living, or else he could have been unhoused. He could have easily well have been at Jordan Neely. But we have a placard for Faulkner.
Tell the story. As a husband. That's
Right? And we're living in a state that says brotherly love.
That's right.
So as we close out, we want to make this a special moment that we can continue to remember all the ancestors that have fought for us. We can continue to remember what Mumia continues to mean to us. Because we're going to free him.
That's right.
Right? Mumia is 70 years old and we're going to free him.
That's right.
Right? And we're not only going to free him, but we're going to free him that he can live a happy life. So that's why we're here. And that's why we'll continue to be here. So if we want to have anyone quickly close us out, anything, spiritual, anything.
Let me just say this again. There's a petition online that says D.A. Krasner drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. Please sign it. Drop D.A. Krasner. Drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal. Last I looked yesterday, it was only at 1,400. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. Check out that petition. Mumia at least needs 1 million. Come on.
That's right.
A million.
Right. He needs a
He's worth it.
Prize.
Why is Mumia always the exception?
Absolutely. Exactly. Why is Mumia the only exception? There were other journalists writing about police brutality.
That's right.
Well, why is Mumia exactly the exception? One of the reasons is because he's a revolutionary, as we know. He speaks truth to power, as we know. He wasn't willing to be bought off. He wanted to wear his dreads, talk about move, talk about police brutality, police murders misconduct. Sign that petition. D.A. Krasner, drop the case against Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Sign that petition.
Sign that petition. Write Mumia. He's at SEI Mahanoy. Write Mumia. Let him know we have his back. We gotta organize. We gotta figure out the puzzle of how to get him out. He's not doing that well. He has congestive heart failure. He's got a damaged liver. We don't have, time is not on our side. It just isn't. But anybody who has a relationship, anybody here that may know someone that knows D.A. Krasner, that's willing to take a meeting, all he has to do is go into court just like he did for the 40 other people. He found 40 wrongful convictions. Why not Mumia? Move his home.
Why not Mumia?
Why not Mumia?
Why not Mumia? Why not Mumia? Why not Mumia?
Why not Mumia?
We know he's a Black Panther. He's also a revolutionary journalist and not willing to bend. But we don't give a fuck. We want Mumia home. Right. It's time. He did 43 years in prison, and they don't even have physical evidence to lock Mumia into this case.
Right.
There was false testimony by a prostitute and a cab driver who says he was there, but he wasn't there. The photo showed that he was not there. That he said he was parked behind a police car. Excuse me, he was driving without a license. Would someone driving without a license be parked behind a police car? No, absolutely not. Let's do it. Let's get Mumia out by any means necessary. If that means by any means necessary. And I'm not talking about violence, by the way. I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about having a conversation with D.A. Krasner. If he can do it for the 40 wrongful, and they were, and the cases are similar, it's faulty confessions and all the bullshit, just bullshit. Mumia never confessed to killing a cop because he didn't. So it's about making relationships. It's about building the movement and talking about this case. And hopefully this year, the year coming, we can get it together to get Mumia out. For anybody that may know somebody who's close with D.A. Krasner, we need to have a conversation. Thank you. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal now.
Release Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Release
Mumia Abu-Jamal. Release Mumia Abu-Jamal. Freedom now! Freedom now!
Friends and comrades, I just wanted to speak and say that today's a real difficult day. We learned that they did not release Judge Abdullah. We learned that they caught the guy that shot that lion thieving healthcare executive. We learned that Jordan Neely was acquitted.
No, Daniel.
Right.
Penny.
That's what I thought. Daniel Penny was
a 3-degree martial artist.
That's right.
From the Marines. murdered Jordan Neely.
Thank you. That's what I thought. That's what I looked at. Anyway, I believe it was Mumia when he called into our session on Saturday, said that in these times we really need to stick together. If not join an organization, someone that we can call comrade, we need to come together. We need to lean on each other. These are for me. I speak for myself. This is a really hard day. These are really hard times. Just on top of like the continuing genocide and bestiality and sadism in Palestine, and I'm sure if I thought of it, I could list like 20 other things that's going on. So it can really, I don't know about you, but it can really get to you. And we really need to come together, and we really need to either join an organization or support an organization or get with our comrades and be with our friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
I completely agree, but I want to remind, not everybody was here at the time, but it's about 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, when District Attorney Krasner was supposed to be speaking at Yale University. How many of you remember that?
Yes, we remember.
Okay. I just want to say that when he was scheduled to speak at Yale University, he did something exactly what he's doing now, betrayed Mumia and betrayed the people. What he did was he spoke against the judge. No, I'm trying to think exactly what it was. The judge, there was a progressive judge at that moment. Tucker. Yes. And when Leon Tucker wanted to give credibility to what Mumia was saying, he countersued and made a big fuss against a progressive move. So it's not just that he's being silent. It's not just that he's not doing the right thing. He did the wrong thing. And guess what happened? The students at Yale had the nerve to cancel his speech and replace him. And replace him with who? Who do you think spoke instead of him?
Mumia.
Mumia. So I'm all for conversations. I'm all for peaceful, nonviolent tactics when they're possible. But we've been waiting a long time. And this motherfucker has done nothing right, except he did release those 40 people. He's done nothing right for Mumia. And that's a sellout. You can't do good things for 40 people and then be excused for doing a total sellout for our revolutionary, beloved brother Mumia Abu-Jamal. So let's remember that he sold Mumia out, endangered his life once again, and he had to be shown by the students at Yale that they weren't going to accept it, and he had to back off and shut the fuck up at the time. So I just want to make sure that we know we have all the options. We have all the options. And this guy may need some hardball tactics. Let's not forget that conversation isn't everything. We definitely need conversation. I'm not against that. But let's remember that he did back down. That's right. He did back down at the time. Yes. And so we should not limit our options. Free Mumia.
Free Mumia. Free Mumia.
Free Mumia. Free Mumia. Free Mumia. And let's not allow the DA to get away and look cool because he's freed 40 people. Good. That doesn't get you off the hook for not freeing a great international hero who's innocent like Mumia Abu-Jamal. Thank you.
I have a favor to ask everybody. Please also email President Biden and tell him clemency for Leonard Peltier. And if he doesn't do it,
He'll go down in history as the world's worst president we've ever had.
He already is the world's worst president.
Sucks.
He doesn't need that.
One genocide. One genocide.
So real quick, y'all, we're about to close up shop, right? First of all, give yourselves, make some noise for just being here for the last 2.5, 3 hours, y'all. When Mumia Abu-Jamal called us on the phone earlier, and we heard his voice, and more importantly, he heard your voice, all he kept saying was thank you. He kept saying thank you. That was his call. He had some powerful remarks at our teaching this past Saturday. But sometimes there's also power, and you can be moved by the simplicity of just providing gratitude.
That's very rude. That's what that is. That's very rude.
You're almost done. You're almost done. The work has to continue. So let's make today and every day a pledge to recommit to the work to free Mumia Abu-Jamal, right?
Yes.
Let's double down our efforts. Let's double down our writing. Let's double down on our organizing. Let's double down on bringing somebody new to the space. Let's double down on our intentions. In the morning and at night, what can I do to bring Mumia home today? Let that be our mantra. Let that be our collective affirmation. Day in and day out, whether it's a petition, a march, a rally,
A prayer.
a court visit, a prayer, a meditation. What can I do to get the word out so that we can assure that this time next year, rather than being at the placard, at the scene of the crime, what we can actually do is say that Mumia Abu-Jamal is the one here with us, talking, sharing, and building. Free Mumia!
Free Mumia!
What's the call?
Free Mumia!
What's the call?
Free Mumia!
What's the call?
Free Mumia!
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal, y'all.
Free Abu-Jamal!
It's such a shame that you had to wait.
Oh, Danny. Oh, Danny.